Okay, well I hope you had some success in actually drawing out the main part of the building. Now you notice that I brought my garage all the way up. Now many garages in houses don't actually come all the way up the side of the house. Yours may do, so you can leave it like that if you like, but I'm going to bring mine back down using the push-pull to actually only be halfway up the building itself. Okay, and that will actually add to the way it looks. Now, the next part that I'm going to add to my house is the roof. Now, a couple of different ways of doing this. I'm going to show you just a quite quick and simple way to begin with. And you need to start thinking about maybe how your roof looks from above or from the side. It all really depends on how well you know the architecture of your house, really. But for purposes of this, I think the best way to actually do the roof would be to start at the back here. Because we've got the bay window at the front, it might be a little bit complicated to do it there, but I've got a nice run here on the back with no other lines or anything going to interfere, and I'm going to do one roof for this part and another roof for this part and another roof for the bay window. And what I'm going to use is the pencil tool. Now it's important that you get the orbit right here, and you can see that I've orbited around a little bit so I can see the blue axes, because I want to be able to draw this line and then come up the blue axes. So I'll take the pencil tool and I'll go across to one of the ends. Doesn't really matter, that end or this end, but I'll go from this end I think, and then I'm going to draw across and until I get to where Google SketchUp tells me that's the midpoint of that shape. And from the midpoint I'm still holding the mouse down, but I'm going to come up, and you can see that the line, the dotted line here, actually is in blue, so you know that you're coming up, okay, the blue axes, alright, the y point, the y axis there, so that you're actually getting height, because you can be you can make a mistake here and actually you can be flat along the rectangle, in which case it wouldn't be much good for a roof. And then when you get to there, if you notice, I want my roof to go higher than that, but it actually snaps across to that line. But if you just keep going, it'll unsnap from that line and it will go back to the blue axis. I'm very careful here. I want it too high. Again, we're not going to be as accurate as we could be for this project, but I'm going to let go there. And then you can see that I can draw another line. So I click from that point, and then I'm just going to bring it back down to that end point there. Now when I flick around here and orbit using the orbit tool, you can see that I've essentially got there the A-frame, you know, almost like builders would be building this house, and putting in the first part of the roof. And a nice easy way to now achieve the whole roof, if I just zoom out a little bit and then just pan across so you can see it, is to now just use the push-pull tool and then pull across until you get to this edge, and then you can obviously bring it down here so it is on face or on edge. Okay, and then we can just have a look, make sure that's nicely lined up and you're happy with that. I mean, it dependent on whether or not the sort of peak of your roof there happens to look like that from the front of your house or not. Some houses I notice, and you'll probably see from looking at Google Maps satellite view or something like that from above your house, you need to actually just bring these parts of the roof in a bit. And again, a nice quick easy way would be to come over to here to your move tool, and what you can actually do is move the point in a little bit. So I'm going to click on that point. Just be careful not to pull to one side because that distorts the roof a little bit, and just pull that in, and do the same with the rear one as well. And then you can see that if I look at it from above, it's probably a little bit more like what your roof looks like I said, from Google satellite images, and then bring that into roughly about even. Okay, so that's the first part of the roof done. You can see it from different angles there. Try and get that as accurate as you want. Okay, now obviously if you make a mistake at all in SketchUp, it's quite important that you recognise the mistake quickly, and it's actually wise to press the undo tool before you go on and do lots of other things. It's a bit more difficult to come back to them So obviously the shortcut for undo is Control and Z, and it's quite sort of an important tool. You can see there I've undone some of the roof parts. The reason I've done that is because I'm going to have actually straight A-frames here. I'm not going to have mine bent in at all. I'm going to have it going to a point. Okay, so the undo tool is very important, that you use it as and when you need it. Okay, now the next step I'm going to add in is the roof for the garage here, and it's going to be a lean-to roof. Okay, so that's going to be quite easy. I'm just going to take the pencil tool and come across here to the point that actually comes from the fact that I grew the house at the start of the tutorial. I'm going to bring it across here to the end point, and then going to orbit around, and of course here we can use the push-pull to then just pull that roof across there. Now you may not go all the way up the side of the house like I have. So for example I could go and undo that there, and I could for example bring the roof down from the midpoint and then flip around and push pull that part of the house like so. So either way you do it, it's entirely up to you really, but both are quite effective.